Apologies for that. Hopefully that's a bit clearer now.
That's better.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. So yeah, our programs are here to support any new recruits or individuals already in employment. So what is an apprenticeship? Paid employment, specific academic support to align and provide a scaffolding that links with the skills development that's provided within work to support the development of your staff into new roles, or in a role that maybe they've had some experience in but just need some extra academic and theoretical input to support that development. So they focus on, each standard focuses on really providing opportunity for development of knowledge, skills and behaviours. So trying to sort of encompass all aspects of understanding of that particular role within a business. So trying to generate an understanding of what exactly is that role as a whole, and how is it used and applied within that specific business that they work in. So what your apprentice will gain is that knowledge, skills and behaviour of their particular sector, the particular role within that sector. That will align, as I said, with that on-the-job training, so the training that they're getting from the team that surrounds them in work. And the beauty of the apprenticeship is that each apprentice is getting a real input from a knowledgeable teacher, a tutor that can give valuable insight, and they will be working alongside the line manager and the team within the employer as well. So the training plan as a whole is planned and delivered to really make sure that it has most impact on the development of that apprentice and the role that they do. Obviously, they come out at the end with a nationally recognised qualification. So this idea of there's a triangle really of work. The apprentice is constantly in touch with the provider, the apprenticeship provider. They have fortnightly meetings with their tutor, and then every 10 weeks, the employer, the line manager, comes in to work with the apprentice and the tutor to make sure that the training plan is being delivered accurately, to discuss any potential alterations or changes in focus that will have more benefit for the apprentice and the outcome of the program as a whole. That training plan is something that's carefully devised between the provider and the employer at the outset as well. So the standard is analysed, and the tutor will make sure that training plan is put in place to ensure that the modules are delivered at the right time to link with the training that the employer knows they're going to be inputting as well. A little look at the process as a whole. So once an employer has decided that they've chosen an apprenticeship that's going to match their employees' progress perfectly and give them the right skills for the role they want, first we as a provider will work with the apprentice to do an initial assessment, to look at their levels to begin with, to see whether they potentially need any support with their English and maths. And then we look to onboard them onto the programme. So we start looking at what that training plan looks like, and put together that bi-weekly delivery and the 10-week progress points. Typically, an apprenticeship, well, every apprenticeship will last a minimum of 12 months. The difference in lengths depends on the standard itself. But once they've gone through that, once they've had that input of the tutor input throughout, generally for about 3/4 of the length of their apprenticeship, they'll then tend to move on to a sort of project-based piece that works on their endpoint assessment. So they go through Gateway, which is demonstrating that they are ready. Really, they've proved that they can use and apply their skills in the workplace. They've got a portfolio of evidence for that, and then they'll go to an external assessor who will who'll put together their assessment to see that they have actually reached the relevant the necessary levels for those standards. Those endpoint assessments can be, they differ dependent on the endpoint assessor, but typically it's an analysis of the portfolio of evidence demonstrating that the skills, knowledge and behaviour has been applied effectively in the workplace. And then there will usually be an interview, sometimes an exam, but that's all really clearly defined at the outset of the apprenticeship, at the point where we're discussing the training plan. Once the endpoint assessment is passed and completed, if the apprenticeship is deemed to be completed and certificates are sent out, and the apprentice graduates with the occupational competence within that particular field. So benefits of an apprenticeship. I mean, we're really going to hear more from Chloe and Mark about this. So, you know, I'm not going to spend too long on this, but the key aspects of this is the right apprenticeship with the right employer is certainly the most cost-effective way of upskilling your workforce, in providing increased performance, better well-being. I mean, for an apprentice, and hopefully we'll hear of this from Chloe, but you know, from an apprentice's perspective, that journey of skills development is scaffolded on two sides. When they've got a good supportive employer making sure that they're supporting them with their upskilling, having an academic mentor alongside that who's constantly linking with the employer really provides great opportunity for the development of that individual and increased performance within their role. So as an overview, increased job satisfaction, increased employee retention, and hopefully with the kind of analytical skills there are, where which all apprentices have to do with their demonstrating through their portfolio of that using and applying their skills, knowledge, behaviour, increased creativity, innovation, and problem solving. So they enable you to grow your talent in-house, future-proof your business, and the biggest one, 95% government funded. So an employer typically will just pay 5% of the training, of the cost of the training, because currently the government can make sure that they pay the 95%. There are also schemes that actually support employers to access unspent levy funding from bigger employers, which actually can mean that the whole cost of the apprenticeship is covered, and that's a service we offer as well. We support businesses to discuss with their local growth hubs, their local enterprise partnerships about what they can do to access that sort of funding. So I mentioned that. What does it cost? Typically 5%. So a £5,000 apprenticeship in business admin to the employer will cost £250. A £7,000 leadership level 5 will cost an employer £350. As I've said, an apprenticeship typically takes a minimum of 12 months. All apprenticeships are a minimum of 12 months, and somewhere between that. So a level 3 team leader is a 12-month apprenticeship. A level 5 operations director, 24 months. At this point, I'm going to relinquish control of my presentation, and I'm going to pass over to Chloe, who's going to talk to us a little bit about her experience. Ken, what I'm imagining is we'll come back to talk about any questions around this once we've heard from Chloe and from Mark.
Good morning, everyone. I'll just get my presentation up for you. So I put together some photos of the Edge team because during the apprenticeship, I think, especially when you're quite young, going into an apprenticeship, it can be quite scary going into an office full of people that like already know each other and stuff. But it wasn't like that at Edge. Everyone is extremely welcoming and helpful, and I think what helps is that at Edge, as you can see from some of these photos, we do like bonding activities. So once a month we have what's called a Wellness Wednesday, where we have an hour on the last Wednesday of the month to do something team bonding. So the last one that we did in January was we had like an afternoon tea and we did like this quiz about each other. So we had to fill in questions about what we thought the answers were, and then once it had all been filled in, we went through it all, and it allowed us to like learn things about people and things that you never would have even thought of, but it allows you to connect with people on like a deeper level than work. We also have like team socials, which you can see a couple of photos from, where we all go out together outside of work, and it allows us to create that bond with each other outside of working, that then when we do come to work, we've got that bond with each other, and it just helps the work flow through the business smoothly because we all get on so well, and again, everyone is just so lovely. We've also got some images of going to some conferences and stuff, learning about some different things and getting to know some different software, not only to help Edge, but also to help me in my apprenticeship. Then moving on to, I've put some benefits together of what I think is good about doing an apprenticeship. So I've put here, I've been taught skills and knowledge from the experienced team at Edge. So having, the knowledge and experience passed down from people who have been in the business and have been in the industry is great because, they can pass it down to you and they've been there, they've done it, and it's great to be able to have someone to say, how about we do it this way, or, to pass on their skills to you, especially going in like I did myself at the start of my apprenticeship, not knowing anything about marketing in the slightest. And then secondly, I've learned by getting hands-on experience as well as studying. So for someone like me, I also learned by doing it as well as studying it. So that has allowed me to, being able to show what I've been taught in my college work within my actual work, and the other way around. I learn things within my work time that I can then go back to my apprenticeship sessions and say, oh, I've learned this, and be able to take skills either way. Third, there are options to continue the apprenticeship at higher level, which I don't think some people realise. So I think some people are put off because they think that uni's better because they're going to get that higher level, where you can actually achieve the higher levels within an apprenticeship at the same time as like working and getting paid and stuff. Apprentices can be tailored to specific job roles, making them flexible and excited to learn. So I think because when you start an apprenticeship, you're quite young, it's the first kind of career-driven job that you're doing. So, it makes us more excited to learn and enthusiastic about trying different things and, really wanting to find what we are good at, but also what we enjoy, which I've been able to do at Edge. I've started off in a different area to what I am now, but it's about finding where you fit best, and I think it's good because you are allowed the space to do that because you've got to fulfill different targets for your apprenticeship anyway, so you've got to try different things. And then lastly, while learning and being taught about the processes in the industry, I'm being paid rather than paying out money to study at university, which was definitely a big thing for me. because as well as obviously I'm already spoken about better at learning by getting the hands-on experience. So I'm doing the job, I'm studying, but I'm also being paid at the same time, which is, a benefit. And then here I've spoken to one of the other apprentices at Edge, and he's been happy enough to give me a quote to share with you all. So he said, "My apprenticeship with Edge Creative has been nothing short of amazing. Getting hands-on experience with a company full of passionate employees has been a great way to really understand my role and what it takes for a business to function in the world of digital marketing. As someone who has been to university, the progression in an apprenticeship is much more engaging rather than working on one goal before moving to the next. I have the opportunity to explore any area of the business as it piques my interest, which keeps me engaged and lets me develop in multiple areas," which obviously I've spoken about in my benefits as well. And then here you can see on our website, we've got a Life at Edge page, which really, draws attention to the benefits of being, an employee. So again, going over our Wellness Wednesdays and our team socials and really, bonding, because I think the thing that matters the most is having that bond with people, because it just allows everything to flow so smoothly through the business. And you've got friends as well as just people that you work with. And then at Edge we hold things that internally that are called education sessions, and they allow different team members to share their experiences and knowledge. So someone can hold a session with the team and share what they've learned. It may have been that they've gone to a conference or they've been on a seminar or something like that, and then they're able to share what they've learned with the rest of us so that we can all grow and we can all progress within the business, which is great. So yeah, that is my presentation.
Excellent. Thank you, Chloe.
No problem.
Yeah, I mean, some of the bits you really highlighted there are the flexibility of an apprenticeship, and I think probably the most important part is that aspect that an apprenticeship is there to really support a business in their aims for upskilling their staff. So I mean, it's clear how what a nice environment you've got there to work in at Edge. But you mentioned there that kind of the application of the kind of learning is all about kind of ensuring maximum impact for both you as an apprentice or any apprentice and the business need, really meeting the needs of the business and helping that business to really ensure that they've got the best return on investment it can have in the time that they dedicate to you, and the rest of the individuals there. And it's probably a good point to get Mark to come in and tell us from your perspective, Mark, how I guess a little bit about how do you generate such a great atmosphere you got there, environment that clearly you've got there at Edge. But I guess how do you feel apprenticeships add to that?
Well, thanks, Ben. Well done, Chloe. You did great. From my point of view, I've always believed in training and developing apprenticeships for decades, to be honest. And I've always believed that training people internally is the best way, because it's easy to develop the culture then. And sometimes we have to have periods of recruitment where we go externally for lots of things. And January's been an interesting case in point. We've had 4 or 5 positions that we've needed to recruit for in January, and that just supplements the people that have been promoted from finishing apprenticeships. So it's a nice balance. But I think this constant stream of developing in-house talents, that's a big thing with regard to the culture. So I think the culture is a balance of, I think the people at the top have to believe in that culture, and the two ladies that really run Edge on a daily basis Karen and Louise, they're both really, really hands-on, passionate believers in training and developing people. You can get this attention in all companies as long as the employer believes in it. And I think I would say to any person that wants an apprenticeship, just make sure you go for the right employer with the right culture. Culture is something which needs working on, but you can't fake it. There have been times in my career where we haven't had the culture right, and you can notice it. And I have to say that the culture at Edge is fantastic at the minute, and has been for some time. And with regard to all these interviews, everybody talks about the people that do their research on looking at the Edge website and investigating into Edge. I can't think of anybody I've interviewed that doesn't say Edge looks a fun place to work. Chloe put some imagery up earlier on, and I just looked at it, and everybody's smiling, everybody's, and it's a very engaging place to work. Obviously, everything that you've said, I believe in and agree with. But from my point of view, the people side of thing is the most important thing, and I think that getting attention as an apprentice, I think getting attention is the most important thing. As Chloe said, made to feel welcome, made to feel like you're not too much trouble, made to feel like no question's a daft question. We've all been there. We've all started somewhere, and you just want to look around and be made to feel like you are welcome and your questions are valid, and we try and do that. And I think the people side of it, the on-the-job training is for me better than anything. I know there's lots and lots of good online learning stuff which you can supplement with it, but I have to say, being in the office, especially for the youngsters, and we really noticed during the pandemic that we can all work from home easily. However, the youngsters found it more challenging to work from home because they need that team environment. They need to be able to just pop to someone else's desk or reach across or whatever it is. So I think the hands-on side of it is absolutely invaluable. You can look at CVs as an employer till you're blue in the face, but you don't really know someone until they start working with you. From my own point of view, I've got various other businesses as well, and I believe in apprenticeships in all the businesses, and I've got people on the board of businesses that have worked their way through from apprenticeships, and the trend development side of it, I think, is absolutely paramount. And the people skills are that everyone can learn from each other. So Edge is a creative agency, it's a marketing agency. If I look at last summer, my own son, who's 20, doing a mechanical engineering degree at university, came in for some work experience, worked the whole summer for Edge, and worked closely with Chloe, and Chloe learned from him and he learned from Chloe, because the people skills, the soft skills, it's priceless. I could go on, but I'm just a huge believer in training and developing, and more than happy to answer any questions from anybody that wants to ask. So that's me and Edge.
Brilliant. Okay, excellent. Is that you? Have you got a hand up, Ken? You got a question?
Yeah, please. Yeah, a couple of questions, please. First of all, Chloe, really, really well done. Great presentation. Well done indeed.
Thank you.
One for you first. The apprenticeship that you did, you're obviously in a digital marketing environment. Was yours a business admin apprenticeship with kind of some special focus on marketing, or was it a specific apprenticeship?
No, it was digital marketing apprenticeship that I've done.
Okay. Ben, is that something that's available through you guys at TI, yeah?
Yeah, we've got a range of marketing ones. Yeah, digital marketer is one of those, content creator as well. Yep. Okay.
Following on from that, Chloe, you mentioned I think you said it was a gentleman that had done his degree. Was he also doing the digital marketing apprenticeship now?
Yes, Oliver is doing a digital marketing apprenticeship. Yeah.
And what did he do his degree in, if you don't mind me asking? I only ask because it's really relevant to my office next door. So.
Oh, no problem. To be honest, I'm not too sure. I can't remember. He probably has told me.
Okay, no, don't worry. Don't worry.
I can tell you it wasn't in a marketing. It wasn't in a
It wasn't
marketing.
marketing. Okay.
It wasn't a marketing degree, so it was separate to that.
No, okay, no, that's brilliant. And my other question was for Mark. Mark, just in terms of watching somebody like Chloe develop, how important is the mentoring, and what impact did mentoring have on your business?
Walsall Library, is that Laura? Is that
You're asking me that, Ken? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
no, absolutely fine. Well, I think mentoring is the most rewarding part of the business as an employer. I think there's nothing. I'm sure you probably feel the same. I'm sure there's nothing better than seeing somebody like Chloe flourish. And I think both personally and professionally, I think I love seeing them grow personally as well. I love seeing them. Develop their social skills and develop their confidence, and you know, obviously on top of the technical ability. I personally like to try and mentor them from a personal point of view, but in-house they're very mentored from a technical point of view, and I believe mentoring's hugely important, Ken.
Okay, no, that's really good.
It's actually just bringing me to a point that you'd made, Chloe, about how you've noticed on your journey that you'll have times where you'll be working with your line manager, your mentor in the office, and picking out things that you know are going to be relevant for the academic development, the academic aspects, and likewise when you're in your teaching sessions and you're picking up pieces of training, pieces of knowledge that you know you're going to be able to use and apply and implement in your role. From your perspective as an apprentice, how does that come together? You know, when you have your progress reviews, do you feel when you bring those two mentors together for you, does that what's that experience like? Is that even more beneficial than the time that you spend individually with them?
Yeah, I think it's great to have it kind of all come together. Because it really helps with, things like, obviously I haven't really gone into depth about this, Ben, but like your projects as you go through, having the knowledge from the team, but also from the apprenticeship training is great because it really just helps the whole process. So yeah, I think definitely massively important.
Okay, brilliant.
Really good.
Are there any other questions? Hi, Max.
Sorry, I just need to. Am I sorry? Am I mute?
No, we can hear you.
You're back.
What happened? I dropped off and then I had to came back on, so I've come back on unmuted. So yeah, do you know what? I've been on so many of these seminars and I've had so many, either live or Zoom or whatever. And Mark, what you said was fantastic, but it just proves to me what always happens. The best advert for apprenticeships is apprentices. And if you can do a Zoom like this, or if you can do a seminar, and you get one or two people like Chloe on the call, it just sells it. Because for me, what I thought was fantastic, Chloe, about that was not just about what you talked about, what you were learning, but about we talk about behaviors, we talk about knowledge, skills, and behaviors, but the behavior thing, the attitude thing, the thing that makes people enthusiastic and want to really build the business they're in is gold dust. And Mark, congratulations on the way the way you recognize the value of culture and the value of people feeling that they want to be at work and they want to contribute and they want to do the best. And what your colleague said as well, Chloe, about being able to learn about all parts of the business. So, sometimes the apprenticeship and you can get sometimes into some types of apprenticeship or the way things are delivered where, you focus so much on what your job is and you forget that when you're at work, you want to know what's happening over there and what's happening over there and where does my work come from and what happens next. And so the brilliant thing about really good apprenticeship providers and really good apprenticeship employers are the people who think, we're not just going to train you to do your job. You're not going to just be a digital marketer. You're going to be a part of this team, and you're going to understand everything there is about the business. And then, in 10 years' time, you won't be a digital marketer anymore. You'll be a mark seat. Do you know what I mean? And that's exactly, yeah.
Absolutely correct. And,
Yeah.
and thanks for that, Max. I think some fantastic points. And I think when you see people really progress through the ranks, I don't think there's anything more rewarding.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah. And I suppose like one thing there from your perspective, Mark, when we talk quite a bit about the kind of flexibility of how those standards are focused, the flexibility for how the apprentice is supported to use and apply it in their role. What's that mean? How's that different from your perspective as an employer compared to, say, sending them on an external course to go and get something, and then coming back in and using and applying that knowledge? Is there a difference between the way an apprenticeship's delivered and that sort of more separate thing? Because I think that from my perspective, what I know that one of the reasons I champion apprenticeships and the feedback I get from our tutors is how positive they feel about the meetings with employers when they can make sure that the training is hitting specific academic requirements of the apprentice, but also meeting business need at the same time, and how rewarding that is from their perspective. Just wonder if you feel there is a difference between that kind of external training and that more unified approach that an apprenticeship brings.
I think all the training that we send our team on, it's all kind of it's all training that we believe in, and therefore it's equally productive. I mean, if I think about, for example, that picture in the top corner that Chloe had presented, that was Chloe and Cole going to London to learn some software and a platform for one of our clients. So we kind of knew it was going to be good. So I don't think we speculate on much external training. So, a lot of the training that we do is really pertinent, hands-on. All the events we do, we integrate the team in our events for clients, which are, again, they're fun. We probably do, we've got one next month. We'll have 120 clients in the room, and Chloe will get to engage with those clients so they can put a face to a name. And so we don't do lots of sort of external training and in fact, more and more, we want to work with partners like yourself to just try and develop more and more people for ourselves, and then even for other companies.
Real.
Really good.
All right, great, thank you. Do we have any other questions from the floor?
Yeah, just one more from me, Ben, but not really apprenticeship related. Mark, Chloe, who can I speak to at Edge? I might need some work doing with animated graphics and stuff. Is there?
That's fantastic.
Is there a contact that you've got for me?
Yes, there is. But what I'll do, I'll personally introduce you after this, Ken. I will get your email address and I'll personally introduce you after this. So if either Ben, can you give me Ken's email address?
Yeah,
afterwards?
Definitely. Yeah, I'll set up and enjoy it.
And I'll personally introduce you, Ken, to the right person.
Yeah, no, if you would, that'd be really helpful. Thank you. You too.
You're more than welcome.
Great. Okay.
Great stuff. Thanks, Ben, for organising. Really enjoyable.
Good. Glad you enjoyed it, Ken, and thank you for everyone to come on. A big special thank you to Chloe for your excellent presentation. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done, Chloe.
Superstar.
And Mark spoke fantastically as always. Thanks very much. This recording will be available, so I'll send it out to be available through our learning portal. It will go out. And I am running another one on Friday, so yeah, you might get a little email marketing just to tell you about that. It'll tell you where you can access the recording, and it'll tell you about future webinars and events that we're doing. But yeah, I think, is there anything more from you, Chloe, before we say goodbye?
No, I think that's all from me. I just hope that everyone's been able to, really see that not only is Edge great, but also apprenticeships, in the highlight of Apprenticeship Week. So
Not
Brilliant.
only a great apprentice, a career in sales rapidly developing.
Absolutely, yeah. I can see some potential there.
Great. Mark, anything further from you?
Just be great, Ben, if we could have a telephone catch up. So
Defo. Yeah. Okay.
Brilliant.
Lovely. Thank you all.
Cheers, guys. Thank
Thank
you.
Meet again soon. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.